Hello everyone, and welcome to the CapSoc tutorial on how to use the Complete Anatomy app. When you open up the app, this is the main screen that you're going to see with content, courses, videos, sharing settings and models all displayed. Now what we're going to be focusing on today is just the models section, and I'll show you later how to refer yourself to the content section as well. So if I press on models, now it opens it up to the full skeleton. Now, before we get into adding structures, etc., I'm just going to show you how to navigate about the app. Now, I don't have a cursor or anything to show you what I'm doing, but I will describe it. So zooming in, if I wanted to zoom into this chap's head, what I would do is just the normal zooming pattern on an iPad or any tablet. So the two fingers you either pinch or squeeze to zoom in and out. So if I want to zoom in, I expand my fingers and I can zoom in there. Now if I want to look at the back of this guy's head, what I then want to do is using one finger, swiping along to either side. So if I swipe along to the right, that's rotating me around this guy's right shoulder to the back of his head. And then if I wanted to come back, just swipe in the opposite direction. Now this is just using one finger. When you use two fingers, like if you're using a trackpad on a Mac or any other laptop, that allows you to move up and down, so from the head to the feet or the feet to the head, etc. So if I want to start looking at this chap's pelvis, what I'll do is just put two fingers on the screen and I'll start to zoom down there. See? Now, what I'd like to do now is show you how to add in structures and basically make what they call a screen as to what we used for the renal session that we held last week. Now, for making a screen, it's best if we start off with a blank canvas. Now, all of these systems along the bottom here, you can see skeletal is the only one that's been added in so far. So if I press on skeletal, if you want to add in more of a system, it'll start off with the most basic when you click plus, but as you click plus more, it'll add in more. Now that's starting to show different divisions of bones, etc. But if I just get rid of this for the moment, so I start with a blank canvas like I was saying. Now if I want to start adding in structures, I'm not going to be using the systems thing at the bottom because that adds in everything and then you've got to try and delete things as you go along and it's just a bit of a faff. So if we start with this top right hand menu here, you have Hub, Search, Tools, Library and Settings. And it's clear that I need to clear my settings. So if I just start on search and search Complete Anatomy app, right? So if I want to search for the kidneys, so if I type in kidneys, right, and it'll give you different drop-down menu options of regions of the kidney, etc. But what I want to do is I want to put in the full structure. Now that'll come under the main system that structure is in, so urinary and reproductive system is the one that you really want, and it'll give you the option of the full structure. So kidney left, and then if I go back onto this menu and click kidney right, so that adds in both kidneys. And what I'll do is, while I'm here, I'll just add in the urinary bladder. So I've typed that in, urinary. So urinary system, and then below that urinary bladder, as you can see there under urinary and reproductive systems. So if I tap on urinary bladder, it adds it in and then highlights it and refers you to it there. So you've probably noticed that if I click off of this, that when you add a structure in, it highlights it. So if I click back on the bladder, it gives you this menu at the side. So it gives you some information related to that structure, which you can read in your own time. I'm not going to read it out to you. But it also gives you options up here to isolate, hide, fade, hide others. Now that's when you're in relation to other structures. So what I'll do is at the end, I'll add in a whole system and I'll start to hide and fade things and see, and you'll be able to see how that allows you to see relations of the structures around a particular organ, etc. So if I click off of that and I just zoom out, so you can see the kidneys there. Another useful tool to really give you an idea as to what structures look like, not only on the outside but on the inside, is this tools section over at the right hand side. Now if I press cut, it gives you 3 options as to how to cut. So you can cut a strip out of things, and that's that middle section there. You can cut a hole in things, that's this right section here. But what I'm going to do is just use the draw incision line. So that just takes one line, and you would basically tap in one place and drag across the other, and it cuts. Now I've not clicked on anything there, so it's not going to cut it, but if I want to cut the bladder in half, I start up here, I drag my finger down across the bladder, and I do that. Now you can choose a side to delete, so if I want to get rid of the right hand side of this aspect, the posterior aspect of the bladder, I just click that, and it gets rid of it. Now what you can do is you can zoom into that structure, and you can see the inside of it, you can see the muscles, etc. And the different sections such as the trigone that we spoke about last week. Now I want to clear all of my cuts, so I just click that and it brings back the full structure. So if I click done, just to get myself off of there. Now another thing that we had on our screens was labels. Now if you want to label a structure, you come back to the tools, and there's this annotate tools at the top, and you click labels. Now you don't have to worry about writing your own labels or anything. You just have to press on the structure, and it labels it for you nicely there. And you can add in labels for as many things as you want, and then that will save them there as long as you click done, and that is them stuck on that. Now if you wanted to save that as a screen, you would press save screen down here at the right hand side. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you the hide section. Now if I want to add on the digestive system like we had for the anterior relations of the kidneys, if I add that in there, right, now that adds in everything quite nicely. But if I want to be able to see, how that colon passes across the kidney at the front, then what I would do is I would press on the right kidney, and I would click fade. Now that fades away the back section of the kidney, lets you see the inside of the kidney as well, but if I want to get rid of the front as well, I can also just click on that. Now the kidney has caps and different sections, etc. So if you want to get rid of the full structure, what you would do is click on kidney right and click fade. So see how I did that there? The top comes up, urinary reproductive system, urinary system. So if I want to fade a whole structure or a whole system, I can just click on that, and then click on fade at the top left hand corner there. Now, seeing that in relation, you can see how when it's faded, you can see right through, and you can see the pancreas and how it relates to the other structures around about it. Now, if I just click off of that and I come backwards, getting rid of the fade. So if I wanted to save this as a screen with my respective labels, what I would do is refer myself to the bottom right hand side of the screen where it says save screen. Now if you press on that, it'll assemble your screen with your labels, etc. And then you can title it. So if I put bladder and relations, and then it gives you an option as to where to save the screen. So I want to be saving it into my own section, whereas if I was making something for Capsock, I could select Capsock and save it there, but I don't want to do that at the moment, so I'm just going to save it into my screens. And you can also basically file it to make it nice and tidy, so if I wanted to put it in abdomen I could, but I'm just going to save it to full body. So if I do that and then press save, the blue bar along the bottom should slide along, and it's saved. Now once you've done that, it will give you the menu for your screens. So what I'm going to do is just use this section here and slide across, so it gives me the full screen of my content. So now this is the same page you'll be brought to as if you click content from the main hub screen when you open the app. All of your saved screens, as long as you are in the right section, will come into here. Now what I mean by right section is not this sort that puts it into alphabetical or reverse alphabetical order, but this filter section here. So if I press on filter, drop down menu there. So it gives me options of basically how to search for things that I have saved or shared with others. Now, my screens is where we saved it, so that's the group, that's the relative group. If I'd saved it in Capsock, say, so if you wanted to access those renal screens that we had made last week, what I would suggest doing is, on the right hand side you have this models filter, so I would click on all models because we didn't file them, just so it was nice and easy for everyone, there was less steps. So all models, and then refer to the group section in the middle and press Capsock, so it's highlighted there, you can see that goes in bold. Once you've done that, all models, Capsock and screens, view content, and it'll bring up those screens there. And what you want to, if you want to make something a favorite, say, that gives you another filter section, you can just love heart it at the top, and that will save it into your favorites. Now, that is basically everything that you need to know about how to use the Anatomy app. There are a lot of different features as to how to show how pain radiates, etc. And we can show you how to do that later on, but I thought it would be best to just show you the basics and really allow you to navigate the app and get the most out of it as you come to learn musculoskeletal system and other systems in Term 3 as well, as it really is a useful tool to have in your inventory. Now, I would just like to thank everyone that's watching this video, all the members of Capsock, for giving Amir and Yash, and recently myself, the opportunity to, express our interest in this area and really, put together videos that can help not only you guys, but help ourselves as well, and really make some useful revision tools for everyone to be able to access, because I think we all express the fact that, if we had had this in first year, we would have been a lot better off for it. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, I'm going to put our emails into the WhatsApp group, and also, as well as this, the WhatsApp group, you can pop a message in there with any questions, you can email us with any queries that you have. But again, I just want to thank you all for being a part of the society, and we really look forward to what the future holds, and the more things that we can put on for you guys. So yeah, I hope you're all staying safe, staying home and taking care. But for the meantime, that's all from me. So thank you very much, and goodbye.